The Tokarev automatic rifle, a forgotten dream of a Soviet genius. Hey everyone, if you're into the gritty details of firearms history and the stories of brilliant inventors, you're in for a treat. Today we're diving into the tale of the Tokarev automatic rifle, a weapon that could have changed the game but ended up as a footnote in history. It's the middle of the 20th century, and the world is caught in the chaos of World War II. The Soviet Union is scrambling to arm its soldiers with cutting-edge weapons to gain an edge on the battlefield. On the 15th of July, 1943, a pivotal meeting takes place at the Soviet People's Commissariat for Armaments. On the table are captured enemy weapons: a German automatic carbine, the MKB-42H, chambered for a 7.92 by 33 mm round, stronger than a pistol cartridge but weaker than a rifle round, and an American M1 carbine, firing a 7.62 by 33 mm round, closer to a pistol cartridge but with a bit more punch. These trophies spark a bold idea: create a new kind of weapon, something between a submachine gun and a rifle, using a Soviet intermediate cartridge, 7.62 by 39 mm. This is where Fyodor Vasilyevich Tokarev, a legendary Soviet designer, steps into the spotlight at the ripe age of 72, ready to leave his mark. Let's unpack this story, weaving in some historical and economic context to make it pop for you folks in the USA. The spark, a new kind of firearm. The story of the Tokarev automatic rifle, or AT-44, kicks off in 1943, right in the heat of the war. The Soviets were studying their enemies' weapons, looking for ways to outdo them. The German MKB-42H and the American M1 carbine showed that a lighter, more versatile weapon could change how battles were fought. The Soviets wanted their own version, and they wanted it fast. On the 12th of August, 1943, they laid out the specs for a new automatic rifle. Every top gun designer in the Soviet Union was called to the challenge, tasked with creating a weapon that could fire in bursts, be easy to produce, and pack a punch with a new 7.62 by 39 mm cartridge. By the 21st of December, 1943, the first prototypes were ready for testing, including designs by Sudev and Kuzmishev. Then, on the 7th of April, 1944, the Soviets ordered full-scale field trials to put these new rifles through the ringer. The goal? Find a weapon that could handle the chaos of war and come out on top. The trials, a brutal test for a new weapon. The trials, starting on the 6th of May, 1944, were no joke. 13 rifles from 5 different design bureaus were brought to the proving grounds, including Tokarev's AT-44. These weapons faced a gauntlet of tests designed to push them to their limits. A technical inspection and test firing with single shots and short bursts, using 6 magazines. Velocity tests to measure bullet speed. Accuracy tests to check how tightly grouped the shots were. Firing in extreme conditions. At an 80-degree upward angle, a 72-degree downward angle, in dusty environments, with parts cleaned in gasoline, with heavily lubricated parts, after crawling 50 meters through sand, after freezing at minus 45 degrees for 2.5 hours, after 12 hours under simulated rain with a 2-hour break, and after soaking in swamp water for 10 hours. Measuring the rate of fire and practical firing speed. Evaluating how easy the rifle was to handle. Tokarev's entry, the AT-44, was a bold attempt by a 72-year-old designer to create something revolutionary. But, as we'll see, it carried both the brilliance and the flaws of his earlier work, the SVT-40 rifle. The design, Tokarev's vision. Fyodor Tokarev began working on the AT-44 in October 1943 at Design Bureau 16, now known as the Nuttleman Precision Engineering Bureau. By late November, he had a mock-up ready, and by early May 1944, the first prototype was complete. Tokarev built on his earlier automatic rifle from 1942, tweaking it to handle the new cartridge and meet the contest demands. The AT-44 used the energy from propellant gases, channeled through a gas chamber to drive a short-stroke piston. The gas chamber had a 5-position regulator, adjustable with a wrench-like tool, and was integrated with a muzzle brake and bayonet mount. The barrel was ribbed for cooling and covered with a perforated shroud. The bolt locked by tilting in a vertical plane, a system borrowed from Tokarev's earlier designs. The trigger mechanism, also taken from the SVT-40, allowed for both single shots and full auto fire, with a selector switch near the trigger guard that doubled as a safety. The sights, lifted from the SVT-40, were set for a range of up to 1,500 meters. The bayonet came straight from the SVT-40, and the rifle featured a solid wooden stock, a pistol grip with wooden panels, and a fixed bipod, a nod to the contest requirements. The detachable magazine held 30, or sometimes 35, rounds, with a latch on the left side. The rifle was a hefty 5.2 kilograms, with a total length of 1,073 millimeters and a barrel length of 485 millimeters. It looked more like a light machine gun than a submachine gun, which was both its strength and its weakness. The results: a tough break for Tokarev. By the 27th of May, 1944, the trials were over, and the results were grim. None of the 13 rifles fully met the requirements. The AT-44 fired 10,720 rounds, but had a 1.35% failure rate in normal conditions. A crack in the receiver ended its run early, with 7 breakdowns across 5 parts. Accuracy was another sore spot. The best 50% of shots landed within a 14.2 centimeter radius, worse than Tokarev's 7 centimeter spread, but better than Semenov's 19.2. The AT-44 also inherited a flaw from the SVT-40. Spent casings sometimes tore apart during firing. The gas regulators in used ports clogged with carbon buildup, causing jams when switching settings. The testing commission, led by Aditya Bashmarin, sent 3 rifles back for reworking, but Tokarev's wasn't one of them. With only 1 month to refine the designs by the 1st of July, time was too tight for the 72-year-old designer to fix the issues. In December 1944, Tokarev came back with an improved AT-44, now featuring a metal pistol grip with a storage compartment for cleaning tools. But the problems persisted: poor accuracy, unreliable parts, and low durability. The rifle was pulled from further consideration, and that was the end of the AT-44 story. Interestingly, the Sudev AS-44, which won the contest, used the same bolt tilting mechanism as Tokarev's design. This suggests Tokarev was on the right track, but time and circumstances weren't on his side. To understand why the AT-44 didn't succeed, let's zoom out to the economic and military context of the time. In 1943 and 1944, the Soviet Union was pouring every resource into the war effort. Factories were churning out weapons like the PPSH-41 submachine gun at a rate of hundreds of thousands per year. These were simple, cheap, and reliable, perfect for mass production. The AT-44, with its long barrel, bipod, and complex design, was too expensive and time-consuming to produce in a wartime economy. In the U.S., we can relate to this. During World War II, American factories focused on producing proven designs like the M1 Garand and Thompson submachine gun, which were reliable and scalable. The AT-44, while innovative, was a prototype that needed more time to iron out its kinks, time the Soviets didn't have. After the war, the Soviet Union shifted gears to the AK-47, which was simpler, tougher, and cheaper, much like how the U.S. stuck with the M16 in later years for its reliability and versatility. I think the AT-44 was a diamond in the rough. Tokarev, at 72, showed incredible vision by blending rifle and machine gun features. The bipod and long barrel made it stable for automatic fire, which could have been a game-changer in certain combat scenarios. Sure, it was heavy, but that weight gave it an edge in sustained fire. The problems, like casing tears and receiver cracks, were fixable with more time. Even the AK-47 had early issues, but Kalashnikov got the support to refine it. Maybe Tokarev, as an older designer, didn't get the same faith from the higher-ups. Today, two at-44 rifles survive. One in the Military Historical Museum of Artillery, Engineers, and Signal Corps in St. Petersburg, Russia, and the other in the Tula State Museum of Weapons, donated from Tokarev's personal collection in 1948. These relics are a testament to a bold idea that didn't quite make it. The At-44 story is about more than a failed rifle. It's about pushing boundaries, chasing dreams, and learning from setbacks. Tokarev's work paved the way for later designs, even if his rifle never saw combat. The Tokarev At-44 is a fascinating chapter in the history of firearms, a tale of ambition, innovation, and tough luck. Fyodor Tokarev's dream didn't make it to the battlefield, but it reminds us that every failure is a step towards something greater. For us in the U.S., it's a story that echoes the spirit of inventors like John Browning, who faced their own challenges but kept pushing forward.